Well, hello. Welcome to the Creative Writing Life podcast, where we talk with writers from all mediums and genres about themselves, their work, and advice they have for writers. I'm your host, Paul Zeidman, and my guest today is Dr. Achim Zingrebbe. We're going to be talking to him about his book, Rise and Thrive Above Cancer, Your Path to Finding Courage, Confidence, and Healing Powder. Dr. Zingrebbe, welcome to the Creative Writing Life podcast.
Thanks very much, Paul. Thanks for the invitation.
Oh, my pleasure. It's a fascinating subject. We're going to get into that in just a little bit. But for those familiar with the show, we'd like to start things off talking about anything we may have read or watched lately. Did we like it? Did we not like it? Did we not want to have anything to do with it ever again? I'll go first, just to give Dr. Zingrebi a little time to collect his thoughts. It's been a really mixed bag for me. So it was the 4th of July weekend here in the States. So I went to see the new Brad Pitt film F1 about Formula One racing. I was not in IMAX theater, but it was still a big screen and it's very effective and it's a very fast-paced movie, even if it's about 2.5 hours long. I enjoyed it. I don't think I ever need to see it again, but I'm glad I had the experience. And then on a total whim, total opposite direction, there's an animated film from the Warner Brothers people called The Day the Earth Blew Up, which I think was their most recent hand-drawn animation film in a long time. It's very silly, very Warner Brothers, Looney Tunes, cartoons-ish. I had a lot of fun with that, a lot of really silly laughs. And I'm currently working my way through the current season of The Bear, which I think is on Hulu/Disney Plus. I
Mm.
certainly hope it's a great show and they're doing a great job this season. My only hope is that they don't try to qualify it for the Emmys as a comedy because it is definitely not a comedy. It's extremely serious, very dramatic, lots of heart tugging or tugging on the heartstring type of moments. It's not a comedy. So I hope they follow that guideline. Dr. Zagrebi, what about you? Anything interesting on the reading or watching front?
Yeah, well, my wife and me, we enjoy watching some crime series, especially in the
Hmm.
evening. And the thing that we just finished yesterday is The Waterfront on Netflix. And we like this combination of silent suspense and intermediate action.
Hmm.
This series really offers both. And I really am a big fan of Holt McCallany, the main actor here, who was also the leading actor in Mindhunter.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and I love this too. I love the silent power he has, you know. Um, yeah, it's for us. It's mostly around action. We also watched the latest Mission Impossible movie
Hmm.
recently. Yeah, this is what we enjoy most. And of course, also another. I'm also a big fan of John Bernthal with The Punisher, for example,
Oh,
the
okay.
Punisher series, and also the two the Accountant movies. Um, I really enjoy these. I could watch them basically every other week.
He is a phenomenal actor, and
Yeah.
also I know he's also in The Bear. He's the late brother of the main character, so he's in a
Mhm.
couple of flashbacks. Yeah, and also I enjoyed him in the recent Daredevil Born Again series. He's like thinking like two scenes as the Punisher there, so I think they just wanted to have him back for some reason.
Huh.
Okay, so Dr. Zingrebbe, let's talk a little bit about you. But before we do that, I will read the bio out of your book, Rise and Thrive Above Cancer. So this is near the front of the book. After obtaining a doctorate in human medicine, Dr. Achim Zingrebbe worked as a doctor in a hospital before his career led him toward the pharmaceutical industry. A cancer diagnosis in 2017 prompted him to radically reassess his life. Up until then, he had been a staunch advocate of traditional medicine. However, this diagnosis led him to broaden his horizons and consider a generalized approach to health and healing, one that sees these as the continual development of body, mind, and soul. With the help of books, high quality online group coaching programs, and additional resources, Akeem offers support to people who want to strengthen their healing powers and live a life of self efficacy. I'm always bad with that word. He lives with his family, his dog, and his cats near Stuttgart outside in southern Germany. Okay, so Dr. Zingrebi, let's talk a little bit about you. I mean, we touched on that briefly in your bio, but you are primarily a physician.
Mhm.
So what was the impetus, the inspiration for wanting to write this book, Rise and Thrive Above Cancer?
Things didn't look that well when I got the diagnosis. I could have had the diagnosis years earlier. but I just ignored it too very long because I just felt I had no time.
Hmm.
Probably I also deep inside me, I thought I'm not worth it to invest this energy in me. No matter what, I got the diagnosis in 2017, and it is so, of course, it is obvious, it's logic that it is a difference if you're standing in front of a patient or if you are the patient and sitting in the bed and receiving, if you're sending or receiving the diagnosis and the
Hmm.
treatment. Um, but anyway, you are just a patient as the next one. It's not that there's no difference. The fear, the anger, the frustration, everything is just the same. And I saw the limitations of conventional medicine from a, of course, completely different perspective. And there was just a point in time where I thought, well, this is just not enough. Conventional treatment doesn't feel like this is enough. Um, and during the treatment, I saw so many desperate people like myself. I was not better in anything. I cried, I shouted, everything. Maybe I was even worse than many others with less strength and less power. I don't know, but that's what I am. Um, but I learned so many things that the moment in time when I decided I want more, I want to learn more things, things that no medical education ever brought to me. And there is so much more about us than just the body, because in conventional medicine, you are the lymphatic cancer in my case from in room 3, and that's it. The body is treated, and mind and soul are just ignored. That this is a system. That's not a critique of the system. It's just like this has been established for such a long time, but it was just not enough for me. And I was really surprised, Paul, to learn about so many things that are out there that can help, that also help me and help so many others. There's so much proof out there
Hmm.
for decades, so much proof from doctors also from the US that have healed so many, cured so many patients, or helped them to live way longer than on conventional treatment alone. But we are never getting this information. And in the end, I thought, well, I want to write a book that I wish I had at the beginning when I received the diagnosis, and that was the starting point.
Of course, of course. So one of the first things I was thinking while I was reading the book was, so you mentioned it before that about conventional medicine, but you also go into, as the book progresses, about I'm trying to think of the word, examples, I guess, of holistic medicine. Now, a
Mm.
lot of people have heard the phrase holistic medicine, but how would you define it for, I guess you would call it for the layman?
Mm. Um, well, I'm not so much into terms and definitions because they are used in different ways
Hmm.
uh, to even to manipulate, in my opinion, sometimes to in various directions. For me, it's just I believe that the way of healing, the way of for the best treatments, the best treatment combination is specific and highly individual for every single patient. It's like a big puzzle, but this puzzle is completely different from the next one.
Hmm.
And you just need to have the opportunity to have to get an information about all the treatment opportunities out there. And then when at the same time when you learn to feel again and to believe also in your gut feeling and to intuition, that you start then to make the healthy decisions for yourself. So I'm in my book, and I'm a strong advocate on this. There is not this one way, and do it like the Achim way, and you will, and everything works out
Sure.
fine. That's not reasonable. But choose from all the things and make sure that you are getting back on a driver's seat. That's probably the most important thing. Stop being just a patient. Um, and be just like sometimes I really felt like a victim of this of all of these treatments. Someone said, yeah, jump, and I jumped.
Hmm.
And that doesn't feel right. It's my body after all, it's my life.
Exactly. So one of the things I found that was very interesting was that a lot of the personal improvement exercises and practices that you talk about in the book, that they can be used, of course, by people undergoing treatment, but also a lot of them seemed very applicable to if you're not undergoing treatment, because a lot of them are about almost like finding an inner peace, finding a way to improve your life overall, maybe through health or exercise. And so I imagine that your target audience are, of course, patients and people undergoing treatment, but it seems like it would be a good read for the families and the loved ones of the people undergoing treatment, kind of as a means of not only helping them understand what that person is going through, but also to have a similar experience. Of course, they're not sick, but also that, this helps them get a little closer and be able to be a little more relatable to them.
Yeah, I agree. And to tell you the truth, in the beginning, I didn't want to write a book specifically for cancer patients
Hmm.
because I believe that all the methods mentioned in the book um, they can help a lot. And I I feel you don't have to hit rock bottom before you start treating yourself in a fair manner and not that hard like you wouldn't treat anybody else, but just yourself. Why?
Hmm.
Um, and I was convinced by my book coach that I should narrow it down a bit, and I get from the feedback I receive, I see, well, okay, this was the right decision. But in the beginning of writing, I had three avatars, and this was three times me when I was 20, when I was 30, and when I was 40. At 20, I thought, well, everyone seems to have a plan. I don't feel it. I'm not sure where to go. Why? It all seems strange and wrong. I just felt not good in my own body. At 30, I thought, well, life feels already over. So that's it. No surprises will come. Hmm. That's that's kind of a sad story. And at 40, I got a diagnosis. And I wanted to catch all of these situations. And in a way, I'm still doing it. Of course, yeah, it's narrowed down, but and actually, I get this feedback from many readers, like you said. Oh, I also shared these methods with my family, with my team, so that's hopefully some of them at least could avoid ending up with a diagnosis like I have it.
Okay. I really like that how you have a very positive approach throughout the book, that a lot of the chapters reinforce that with titles of a similar nature, like Breaking Free from Depression and Never Give Up, exclamation point, etc. So was that part of your intent when you started putting the book together to be as helpful, as supportive for anybody who would read it?
Definitely, yeah. I just wanted to hold a hand. Come on.
Sure.
And probably in the beginning, I'm in front of a reader, and I'm grabbing behind me, take this hand, and then lead the way. And during the road together, the reader is closing up, and we are walking next to each other. And by the end of the book, I hope that many of them can walk alone. Because they have learned so many things. They met themselves in a way that probably at least I know that there are people like me out there that they have found themselves for the first time, and there is a lot of strength in these learnings for yourself. And when you can uh, begin to rely on yourself in a much deeper way, this gives you so it gives you so much calm. You're so well grounded. Many things that were seemed so important in the past just diminish, and you can just smile about them.
Sure. I was thinking that you talk about it's almost like because for a lot of patients that they feel things are so out of their control that they feel so
Mm,
helpless, and the
mm,
things that you're suggesting that they do in practice that helps them get a little bit more of that control back under their
mm,
control, so that
mm.
it's not as, I guess, overwhelming, or it's not as imposing to them.
Yes, yes. This is, of course, this has to do with a lot of learning, and it's all with small steps. But hey, just try it for the first time. Why not try tomorrow with the first time that you just say no when it doesn't feel right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, it, it's an unbelievable feeling for many of us.
Oh, I think it's relatable on so many levels. I mean, because it's like with just exercising in general. When you before you start, you think, "Oh, I'm never going to be able to do that," and then you
Mhm,
start off and you start with a very low weight or a very short
mhm,
distance, and you have to gradually build on it. You know, it's like
mhm.
building muscle. That
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
want to see results, you have to put in the work and the effort, and
mhm,
nothing happens overnight. It's going to take time to get through that.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
hmm one of the things I noticed, it seems like it's I almost said a 2 to 1, but maybe more like a 3 to 1 ratio of you talking about options and recommendations throughout the book, and also the smaller number is your experience with those. It's you saying here are some things you can do, and then there's a little addendum at the end, and here's how it worked for me.
Mhm,
Was it intentional to not put the focus on you that you wrote this book thinking, okay, I'm going to write as a way to help people, not to tell my story, but you wanted to use your perspectives to, I guess, to help make it relatable and put it in perspective for the person reading? Was this a way to emphasize and or highlight what you were discussing? And also very curious, I mean, even though you're a medical professional yourself, did you consult with other specialists in the fields that are discussed in the book about the conventional medicine, but also the non-traditional medicines as well?
mhm. Um, uh, I realized, or I knew all the time, or I also saw it in hospital when I was still a medical doctor there. Treatment patterns can lead to different outcomes, even if the diagnosis um, and many other things are similar between patients. So there must be individual treatments for each patient. And what helped me the most could be probably something that no one else will be happy with.
Mhm.
And of course, I read tons of books and personal stories of patients are also. Um, but I couldn't relate to many of them because eating broccoli all day, for example, or something like that, it's just not the thing that I feel healthy with. Um, and I just wanted to open up the field, to open up the mind of the reader, to that they realize, okay, there are a lot of options out there, and it is up to me to decide what are the right options for me. As said, you must come back on the driver's seat. And if you even if you say, oh, this book is absolutely bullshit, it's not for me, it's okay. Congratulations, you just took your first decision.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's the basic thing that I wanted to create in the readers. And that's also why I reduced my personal part in this book. It's not about me. And at the same time, I felt also in discussions with test readers that it is relevant for them what a medical doctor himself did in this
Mhm.
situation. So I hope that this is the right mixture and for a book that still is interesting for many readers.
Sure. Just to remind everybody, we are talking to Dr. Achim Zingrebbe with his book, Rise and Thrive Above Cancer. I wanted to ask, you kind of mentioned that. Was there anything you did not include or that you thought of after the fact, like, oh, I should have included this, or was it a very lengthy process to put the whole book together?
Well, I started taking notes, not writing the book, but taking first notes
hmm
with the first chemotherapy sessions. So yes, it was quite a lengthy process because also the more I studied for myself and so also for the book, the more I was surprised on how many things I didn't know and the many options that were out there that nobody ever told me. Um,
Can you give some example? I mean, my first reaction to hearing that is maybe like about the self-help groups or about the more holistic approaches. Is that what you're referring to, or were there other more conventional things that you hadn't considered?
well, self-help groups are, I think, basically everywhere where also normal, conventional treatment can be given. But nobody ever offered me in hospital anything like meditation. or any other physical treatments. Even psycho-oncology was something that we just told, yeah, even really in this way, yeah, you could try it.
Hmm.
So no encouragement
Very,
in
very,
anything.
very skeptical, kind of like, yeah, whatever you want to do, or just very not that supportive of it.
Yes, and yeah, it's not written in the book I learned in hospital in the university, so I don't believe in it. And this is
Mm.
something that I really come to see a lot in colleagues, in physicians, um, that they don't encourage the patients. When it's so obvious that it cannot harm the patient, like a meditation, for example, exercise, um, why can so few just have the courage to say, well, I don't know. I've never tried it. Some patients did well on it, other patients stopped doing it again, but it makes no harm. Just try it for yourself. This is the way I would love to hear more often. And this is also I try to discuss with a lot of colleagues, also with professors and so on. But unfortunately, very many of them are just focused on conventional medicine, and don't believe in any other thing, and
Hmm.
really are against it. uh.
Okay.
So it's up to you. It's up to the patient to be responsible and to take care of themselves.
Hmm. On that note, I would love to hear about the experiences you had with some of these more non-traditional approaches. I mean, especially like aura reading and aura surgery. I mean, when we hear about those, I guess we're very, as you said, it's very skeptical, very dismissive. But that if it's effective for you, or if you're seeing some kind of results that have a positive impact, there's no reason to just push it off to the side. What were some of the things you experienced while you were going through this? I mean, it sounds like a lot of these were not desperation, just more like here's something else I want to try in an effort to help myself feel better, to help myself get through this. So, I mean, like things like the aura reading, what was your experience with that that I guess made you more of a supporter slash believer in it?
Hmm. Well, Paul, to be honest, in the beginning, I was desperate. I
Hmm.
was, I was just like any other one. I was just fighting for my life as strongly as possible. And I started with soft, I would say, define it this way, body therapies like craniotherapy, um, which were so strange to me because they were soft. It was not with aggression like the therapy or like the things that I did in my free time when I was doing sports. And this was like a door opener for me, to get in touch with myself again, and to allow myself to feel, also to feel the anger, to feel the pain, and to feel all the other emotions related to such a diagnosis, and the uncertainty related to it. And so it quite was some time until I opened up so much to try things like aura reading. Uh,
Hmm.
and in the end, it was very easy. Of course, I was full of doubts,
Hmm.
but the person that did this with me for the first time just said, "Well, just make an appointment. I don't want to know anything from you, nothing." And she knew so many things that were just impossible to know about me from anywhere. I'm not Tom Cruise, so or Brad Pitt, so there's no story about me anywhere. Um, and this was really something that went to my core, and then I also this with to speak in a way with dead relatives. It was so impressive, and it allowed me to open up to a potential reality that there is way more than just our body, and that the soul definitely can stay also when also after a time when the body has long died.
Hmm.
At least this is the thing that I can believe in. It's up to anyone, whatever they want to believe in, but it helped me a lot, and it was also part in getting calmer, and getting closer to believing that there are people, also a spiritual team around me that is supporting me, that is loving me.
Hmm. That's great. One of the things I also didn't realize it until after I finished the book and I was going through to make some notes that right next to the table of contents there is a disclaimer to not use this as official medical advice, that you should definitely consult your doctor. But the thing is that a lot of these suggestions and recommendations you have throughout the book are very helpful, at least from a very physical point of view about meditation and exercise and diet. And also, some of them can apply to conventional medicine as well. I
Mhm.
guess it comes down to, so what have the reactions been? As you said, you've heard, you've conversed with other colleagues, but I'm very curious to know what reactions have been to the book from patients or former patients, not necessarily of yours, just people undergoing the treatment, but also other professionals who you don't know at all, and also as we talked about before about families and loved ones of
Mhm.
people undergoing the treatment.
Mhm. Well, patients first. Yeah, well, really, many of them told me, I wish I had this
Mm,
already when I got the diagnosis, or when my husband, my wife got the diagnosis. Um, some also told me, we experienced exactly the same thing.
mm,
And this really is coming quite often. So you just don't get recommendations for anything apart from conventional medicine,
right.
and that you are basically kind of laughed at when you ask for other opportunities. Um, Regarding professionals, yeah, when you look at medical, I would term it support functions like psycho-oncologists who are
Mhm,
not treating the cancer itself. um, they agree. They say, well, yeah, it's so relevant, that you are covering all bases, mind, body, and soul, and not just the body, on a regular basis. And I always tell patients, please make sure that not only you as a patient, but also your team members visit a psycho-oncologist on a regular basis, because there are things that need to be discussed outside the team. This was also from for me, there are fears that you can't just share at home. It's
mhm,
impossible. No?
right.
It's so important to leave it somewhere, to give this emotion freedom to let it out. The cancer, after a cancer diagnosis, definitely the time has to end where you eat emotions up and where you keep it all inside.
Hmm. Right,
Definitely.
right. I'm curious. Have you had other medical professionals who said, I love the suggestions and the recommendations that you have in this book. I think my patients would really get a lot out of it."
Well, in tiny bits, there are cracks somewhere in the marble stone. You probably, they are reflecting, start to reflect, and they try here and there to include small things. But I think we are still uh, away from a big way away from opening this really up. In an ideal way, we would have healers, doctors, medium, everything around the patient, and they would decide together what is the best way forward. I can't do anything anymore, but what is
Hmm.
your approach? But we are not there yet.
Sure, sure. And one of the things I absolutely loved, I think I found this again as I was going through the book. I went to the very beginning, and it says, "Welcome, you're not alone. Let's walk this path together with courage and love." And I think that's a great reminder because a lot of times when someone is uh, suffering from some kind of severe condition like this, that they feel very alone. They feel very isolated. And it is reassuring to remind them to say, hey, you're not alone in this. There are other people who've gone through the exact same thing, and there don't feel like you have to just live in isolation, that you can reach out and find others who can help and support you, and they can relate to exactly what you're going through.
Yeah, and you can form a team around you that will help you, that can help you, and that you still hold a value in yourself. You are
Hmm.
not worthless, and you are not. by everyone reduced just to your diagnosis.
Sure, sure. And also, I think at the very end of the book, I think there's a link or maybe a QR code for online bonus pages to help people with all of the things that you recommend throughout the book.
Yeah, I'm offering there, for example, some free meditations, some free breath work, just to get the beginning as easy as possible.
Hmm.
The shortest meditation I'm offering there is just 2 minutes, and come on, you should have 2 minutes at least, huh? For me, it was still something to do it for the first time because I thought so for so long. Well, my problem is out there. I'm not benefiting from sitting here in silence.
Sure, sure. So we have been talking to Dr. Achim Zingrebbe about his book, Rise and Thrive Above Cancer, Your Path to Finding Courage, Confidence, and Healing Power. Doctor, where can people get a copy of this book and where can they find out more about you and your history?
Well, of course on Amazon, but also everywhere else. Basically in every bookstore you can order my book.
Okay.
Uh, and yeah, I have an Instagram account. I have a website, azingrebemd.com. Um, and I'm always happy to help.
Okay, and those links will be on both the posts for Spotify and YouTube for people who want to find out more. So again, we've been talking with Dr. Achim Zingrebbe, Rise and Thrive Above Cancer, not just for cancer patients, but also for people who love them and know them to help them understand and relate to what they're going through. It's a very effective book, and I again, like I said, a lot of the exercises and recommendations that you talk about they sound like they would just help make anybody's life a little bit better just because you're helping find that center as you, if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah, absolutely right.
Okay, well, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Zingrebbe. And viewers and listeners, if you enjoyed today's show, please hit like. Feel free to leave a comment and subscribe. For social media for me, you can check out my screenwriting blog at maximumz.blog. At Twitter, I'm at maximum_Z and Pez Screenwriting for Blue Sky and Instagram. This show is at podcast CWL on Twitter and on Blue Sky. And you can check out my screenwriting, the books, Go Ahead and Ask books on Amazon. Like I said, that is Dr. Achim Zingrebbe. I'm Paul, and this has been the Creative Writing Life podcast. Thanks for listening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, go write something.